This podcast was recorded on Ramangeri land. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
Welcome to Fleurieu Footy Podcast, Episode 9. I'm your host, Steve Costello. In today's show, we'll cover the A-grade reserves, Telstra Senior Colts, Fleurieu Junior Colts results, goal kickers, and the premiership ladder after round 17. With one round remaining, it's pretty exciting, especially in the A-grade. We'll talk to our special guest, Darcy Dspringer. He was a pretty handy player on his day. He features in our 10 years ago segment for Strathalbyn. He is a successful coach both in the AFL for men and women and also basketball. He's got an ultra-impressive CV of achievements, including coaching, scouting, plus personal honours, being named as a finalist in the 2018 SANFL Volunteer of the Year Award. You can look at his credentials at the end of the interview. We'll then look at the women's grand final results for the under-17s and also the A-grade, best players and goal kickers. We'll step back in time and look at the GSFL reserves results after round 17, plus the premiership ladder 10 years ago. We'll plug a local business and have our question of the week. So I hope you enjoy the show. Thanks for joining us. Here are the results for the GSFL men's A-grade after round 17. McLaren hosted Mount Compass and the final score saw McLaren 17 goals 11, 113 defeat Mount Compass 7 goal 5, 47. Next game saw Langon Creek host Wollonga, an important game for Langon Creek. And they were victorious 15 goal 14, 104 to Wollonga 5 goal 12, 42. The next game saw my Ponga Sellicks take on Victor Harbour, and my Ponga Sellicks were victorious there 13 goal 15, 93, defeating Victor Harbour 9 goal 4, 58. Yankalilla hosted Strathalbyn, and Strathalbyn had a good win there 20 goal 13, 133. Defeating Yankalilla 4 goals 6, 30. And in the final game, Encounter Bay hosted Gould Port Elliot, and Encounter Bay were victorious 16 goal 16, 112. Defeating Gould Port Elliot 7 goal 3, 45. If you're looking for the best players and goal kickers, just visit the web address below. And those were important games between Langon Creek, Wollonga, my Ponga Sellicks, Victor Harbour. Strathalbyn beating Yankalilla and Encounter Bay beating Gould Port Elliot, shaping the final 5. So one game to go and it's all pretty tight still. Here are the GSFL men's A-grade leading goal kickers after round 17. And in top spot is Ben Simmons from Strathalbyn with 59. Second is Sam Basham from Victor Harbour and Matthew Merritt from McLaren, both on 54. In third spot, we've got Jackson Elms from Victor Harbour and Ben Kennedy from my Ponga Sellicks and James Grimley from McLaren, all on 46. In fourth spot is Jake Tarker from Encounter Bay on 44. Fifth is Tom Pinion from Mount Compass on 42. Sixth is Nick Marshall from Encounter Bay on 41. Seventh is Kobe Hellier from Langon Creek and Tyson Neal from Encounter Bay, both on 40. And in eighth is Caleb Howe from Langon Creek on 38. The premiership ladder for the men's A-grade after round 17 is still pretty exciting. We've got McLaren on 34 points undefeated. In second, we've got Wollonga on 24 points. And third is my Ponga Sellicks on 24 points, just separated by percentage. Then in fourth spot is Encounter Bay on 20 points. And they're a game clear now of Langon Creek on 18 points, who've slipped into the 5. Strathalbyn on 18 points in 6th, and Victor Harbour on 18 points in 7th. And with one game to go, they're only separated by percentage. So it's all pretty tight to get into that 5th spot. In 8th spot, we've got Mount Compass on 10 points. Ninth is Yank on 4 points, and 10th is Port Elliot, yet to have a win. Here are the results for the GSFL Men's Reserve grade after round 17. McLaren hosted Mount Compass, and McLaren had a good win, 21-21, 147, defeating Mount Compass 1 point. In the next game, Langhorne Creek hosted Wollonga, and Wollonga were too strong there. 11 goal 571, defeating Langhorne Creek 8 goal 553. My Ponga Selix hosted Victor Harbour, and my Ponga Selix had a good win, 19 goals 10, 124, defeating Victor Harbour 2 goal 315. Yankalilla hosted Strathalbyn. Strathalbyn had a win there, 9 goal 12, 66 to Yankalilla 2 goals 214. And in the final game, Encounter Bay had a good win over Port Elliot, 25 goal 10, 160, defeating Port Elliot 1 goal 1-7. For best players and goal kickers, just go to that web address below. So the leading goal kickers in the GSFL Men's Reserve grade after round 17 is like this. Graydon Brand from Langhorne Creek is in front on 42, followed by Thomas Grundy from my Ponga Selix in second on 39. Third is Blake Bailey from Encounter Bay on 32. Then we've got in fourth spot Ben Hutchinson from my Ponga Selix on 28. Fifth is Dusty Zimmer from McLaren on 21. Then a few guys in the sixth spot, Sebastian Gerardo from my Ponga Selix, Luke Goodison from McLaren, Braden Anderson from McLaren, and Lachlan Costello from Encounter Bay, all on 20. Then three guys in the seventh spot, Jacob Still Wollonga, Jacob McDonald Wollonga, and Ashley Weckett Strathalbyn, all on 18. So the men's reserves grade premiership ladder after round 17, we've got Wollonga in first spot on 28 points. Second is Encounter Bay on 28 points, just separated by percentage. Third is my Ponga Selix on 26 points. Fourth is McLaren on 25 points. Fifth is Langhorne Creek on 20 points. Sixth is Strathalbyn on 18 points. Seventh is Victor Harbour on 14 points. Eighth is Port Elliot on 9 points. Ninth is Yankalilla on 2 points. And 10th is Mount Compass, yet to have a win. And so I think that top five is set, but there could be a bit of movement in the top 3 or 4 sides. So things still open up in the top 5. Here are the results for the GSFL Telstra Senior Colts after round 17. So McLaren hosted Mount Compass, and McLaren had a good win, 12 goal 11-83, defeating Mount Compass 4 goal 8-32. Langhorne Creek hosted Wollonga, and Wollonga had the victory there, 11 goal 6-72, defeating Langhorne Creek 7 goal 6-48. My Ponga Selix hosted Victor Harbour. My Ponga Selix, a good win, 20 goal 11, 131, defeating Victor Harbour 1 goal 6. And Yankalilla hosted Strathalbyn, and that was a pretty close game. Strathalbyn were the winners, 6 goal 6, 42 to Yankalilla 4 goal 8, 32. And in the final game, Encounter Bay hosted Port Elliot, and Encounter Bay had a good win, 13 goal 7, 85. Defeating Port Elliot 3 goal 220. And if you're looking for best players and goal kickers, just follow the web address below. So the leading goal kickers for the GSFL Telstra Senior Colts after round 17 is Dexter Kenny in first spot from my Ponga Selix on 50 goals. Second is Joshua Gerardo from my Ponga Selix on 42. Third is Dash Hawley from Yankalilla on 39. Fourth is Ryan Corby from Encounter Bay on 36. Fifth is Jack Gilbert from Strathalbyn on 35. Sixth is Archie Evans from Port Elliot on 34. Seventh is Zaid Edwards from Wollonga on 27. Two guys in eighth spot, Tyler Davidson, McLaren, and Adam Toke from Langhorne Creek, both on 25. And in ninth spot is Lockie Nash from Mount Compass on 24. We're looking at the Telstra Senior Colts premiership ladder after round 17, and on top is my Ponga with 30 points. Second is Encounter Bay with 26 points. Third is Strathalbyn, also on 26 points. Fourth is Wollonga, also on 26 points. So those, the second, third and fourth side only separated by percentage. In fifth is Gould Port Elliot on 20 points. Sixth is McLaren on 16 points. Seventh is Yankalilla on 12 points. Eighth is Langhorne Creek on 8 points. Ninth is Mount Compass on 6 points. And 10th is Victor Harbour, yet to have a victory. So the second, third and fourth spot, there could still be some changes there with the last game. Here are the results for the GSFL Fleurieu Milk Junior Colts after round 17. So McLaren hosted Mount Compass, and McLaren had a win there, 12-goal 4-76, defeating Mount Compass 2-goal 4-16. Langhorne Creek hosted Wollonga, and Wollonga had a good win, 10-goal 14-74 to Langhorne Creek, 1-goal 4-10. My Ponga hosted Victor Harbour in a tight game. My Ponga were victorious, 5-goal 7-37, defeating Victor Harbour 4-goal 3-27. Yankalilla hosted Strathalbyn, and Strathalbyn had a big win, 20-goal 12-132, defeating Yankalilla 3 points. And then the last game, Encounter Bay hosted Gould Port Elliot, and Gould Port Elliot took out the win there, 5-goal 3-33, defeating Encounter Bay 2-goal 4-16. For best players and goal kickers, please go to that web address below. Here is the Fleurieu Milk Junior Colts premiership ladder after round 17. And in top spot, we've got my Ponga on 32 points. Second is Wollonga on 29 points. Third is Strathalbyn on 26 points. Fourth is Encounter Bay on 20 points. Fifth is Victor Harbour on 19 points. Sixth is Gould Port Elliot on 18 points. Seventh is McLaren on 16 points. Eighth is Langhorne Creek on 8 points. Ninth is Mount Compass on 2 points. 10th is Yankalilla, yet to have a win. And I reckon that 5 is probably set. The only thing that could happen there is that, Gould Port Elliot, Victor Harbour and Encounter Bay could all move about a bit because Victor Harbour's got a pretty good percentage. And Encounter Bay's percentage is a little bit less than the others. So still alive there. Gives me great pleasure to welcome to the Fleurieu Footy podcast, Darcy Dspringer. G'day, mate. How are you?
Hey, Cozzy. How are you?
Good, thank you. Now, just quickly, you've got a massive resume of coaching, footy playing, women's football coaching, basketball. Yep. Where do you find the time to do all that sort of stuff, mate?
Look, I'm not lucky, but it sort of fell into my lap, and I was pretty lucky. My partner sort of worked interstate a lot at the busier times, so I could sort of squeeze it in. I had the weekends to myself, so found the time to squeeze it in. But certainly more of a juggling act now with kids and work and everything. But you just got to make the time for the things that make you happy, I suppose.
So for those people that don't know, at the end of this podcast chat, I'll put some stats up about your coaching career, both in AFL for men and women, your playing career, and also some basketball coaching that you've done as well, because it is pretty impressive and it does fill up a fair bit of time. We'd probably talk about it for half an hour.
Yeah, I know, right? Just been really lucky with the opportunities afforded to me. And in saying that as well, you need to work hard and put your best foot forward, I think. Playing career, I certainly wish that was a lot longer, but, if that was longer, then the coaching career certainly wouldn't have taken off. So, it comes, hand in hand.
Well, it coincides me interviewing you. I do 10 years ago, which is 2012, and it will be the reserves. And I think Strath Reserves in 2012, there's a guy called Dspringer, and he kicked 5, and I reckon he was best on ground for Strath.
Yeah, it might have. I don't know how many games I played that year, but yeah, my last full year was 2009. I know that, and then I put together a few games. It would have been 2012, probably 10 or so games. So that would have almost been it for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
I think it was
5.
round 17, and 5 goals, best player.
Yeah, look, I don't remember the day, but I would have maybe snagged a couple of free kicks close to goal. I wouldn't have been leaving the goal square much, I don't think. So we'll take it.
I saw in your CV that you won a couple of premierships with the Junior Colts. Is that right?
Yep. So
3.
2002, 3, and 4. And we had a pretty successful group come through, and it was fantastic. And obviously the first one, I think, a lot of us first years missed out, and the second one we played in, and the third one I was lucky enough to be captain for, which was great. And we sort of finished pretty well. And I remember that year because we'd beaten Wollonga twice during the year, and they were a pretty handy outfit, and they came out in the second semi or something and beat us by 100 points. And we were sort of, what's happened? What's changed? And then, we came out in the grand final and beat them. So, a lot can change in a few weeks, which, I guess anyone that's been in those situations would know. It doesn't matter where you are on the ladder. It's how you rock up on the day that can determine the result.
Absolutely. And you did win another one. Was that with Senior Colts or?
Yeah. So we lost my first year of Senior Colts in 2005. We lost the grand final. 2006, we won it. And then 2007, we lost the prelim by a point. So it was a pretty successful, era through the Colts. But I think towards the end, we just had so many kids playing footy down at South Adelaide and all that the depth was really tested, and we probably just didn't have enough to get over the teams.
Sure. So you started coaching pretty early, compared to a lot of people. They probably wait until maybe mid-30s or after they've retired from football. What were you, probably mid-20s?
I think,
or even younger?
So I would have I'd be 19, I think, when my back and hamstrings and stuff just weren't allowing me to literally run and play football. So Andrew Gunnar McPhee grabbed me. I sort of just couldn't get to the footy club. I was just, it was just hard not being able to play and stuff. And he got me out helping with the under 10s or 12s. And it was just fantastic. I loved it. And then being 20 years old and coaching the Senior Colts the year after was pretty special too. Those guys weren't too much younger than me. So it was, it was just a great learning curve.
Yeah. What about the coaching role that you're doing at the moment? You're not involved in the GSFL at all. You're involved in the amateur leagues.
Yeah. Yep. In Division 2. So it's my second year at Foss Camden with the A grade men. So I'm, assistant coach and just loving it. I think being involved in country leagues your whole life, you're sort of not really sure on the city league. But certainly getting down there, it's so eye-opening, and their depth is incredible. And probably the best thing for me is, you look at country clubs and you might struggle to get 20 blokes on a track. But, we routinely have 70, 80 blokes training, which makes oval space hard and all that. But it's just getting guys to training isn't an issue in the city. It's quite nice. So, I just love the impact you can have, and we're a really young side, and unfortunately we miss out on the 5 just by percentage. So our season's ended after round 18 on the weekend, but I think it's an opportunity missed for us. We could have shaken things up.
Right. Now, you've got other coaching roles that you've performed outside of men's footy. Obviously, you did the women's footy and also basketball. Can you tell us a bit about those things?
Yeah. So I was a part of a bit of a group of people that were started the Strath Women's Footy Club, and we spent we were sort of organised and ready to go and play in the Adelaide Footy League, and then other great southern clubs kind of chimed in and joined in. I think Victor and Canna Bay, Wollonga were the others, but yeah, it was tricky because we had got a team assembled and we were ready to play for points and committed to the Adelaide Footy League. So we actually played a year in 2017 in the Adelaide League. So going out to North Haven and Salisbury, Golden Grove, I think, and then Aldinga and Mount Barker were in it, which was a bit closer for us. But it was an incredible journey, and lucky enough to win the premiership there. And then the Great Southern were playing for points, and we were asked to come back. Well, I don't know if we were asked, but had to jump back, and which was fine. And lucky enough again to win a couple of premierships in a row there. So it ended up being 3 in a row, and that was my experience. And lucky enough to go away to Western Australia and to Queensland with the state under 15 girls side, which is a pretty incredible journey. And seeing a lot of those girls now playing AFLW and SANFLW, it's a real privilege to have worked with some of them. And the basketball side of things. So I've been coaching that for as long as I've been coaching football. Heavily involved in sort of town team stuff, association basketball, coaching at country championships and regional carnivals with Strathalbyn. A little bit of district stuff with Eastern Mavericks, and probably one of my favourite trips was I was lucky enough to go over with an Adelaide-based school over to America and coach throughout Los Angeles and Seattle, Portland. It was just incredible to just see the caliber of athletes over there, and some of those guys that we coached against, and probably girls as well, are playing NBA or Division 1 college, which is it's just tremendous.
Yeah, being exposed to that sort of experience and what they do over there as well, I suppose, pretty special for you bringing it back.
And you don't realise it until you go over there, but we will never catch up doing what we're doing. Like you have really talented kids in Australia here, and we did some homestays over there, and kids in America, because they can't always go outdoors because of winter and that sort of stuff, have like half court gyms in their house, and that's probably a more money well off family kind of thing, but they have all the stuff to work out at home, whereas I grew up playing basketball on a hoop outside with undulating grounds, and a big rock is the foul line, and you draw the 3-point line in paint or something. But an indoor court would have been nice.
So they've got a massive pool of players that they can select from compared to us, haven't they?
It's incredible. And just going over there and seeing college basketball and the NBA and that kind of thing, and getting to train on some NBA courts and stuff, it was just, honestly, you couldn't ask for a better trip, to be honest.
Now, tell us a little bit about being nominated as Volunteer of the Year. Am I correct in saying that? For the SANFL, was it? Or tell us a bit about that, mate.
So I think I've maybe once or twice now. It's a bit of a stitch up because I certainly, there's a lot of people that did a lot of work around the footy club, and you could probably, rattle off 10 blokes at every club or 10 females at every club that have done just as much, if not more. But I think speaking to the person that nominated me, it was, they just wanted to talk about the impact that it had, like allowing girls to be able to play football. Mm-hmm. And I certainly wasn't on my own. Like I'm okay at the on-field sort of stuff, but I'm pretty blasé with the terms and conditions and all of that sort of thing. So I had a great team of people around me helping me out. But I was lucky enough to get nominated, and I didn't win. Would have been cool because I think the first prize was tickets to the grand final, and I reckon the Crows might have been in it that year, so it would have been nice. But
okay.
It's a great one to have on the resume. But it's something that I think every club, if they had the chance, could nominate 50 people that do an incredible job. We have some tireless workers, particularly now with the women's side of things and a Sunday as well. I certainly know that the people that are putting in a lot of effort both days, and yeah, it's great.
Now, obviously you're involved in sport quite heavily through footy and basketball, so it'd take up a fair bit of your time. But outside of those things, what do you indulge in or enjoy? Do you like racehorses or?
No, not really. I just music. I love listening to music. I love going to concerts and gigs and stuff. But a lot of my free time is I try and fit in a bit of time with my friends, which we all have kids now, so it's a little difficult. But when you have kid play dates and stuff, you can kind of tie it in. But yeah, certainly family time to me is very special. So just spending time with my family, and we have a couple of on both sides, some couple of very favourites of Freddie's, their grandparents that he loves to go and see and terrorise their houses. So just family time and friends for me. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So can you tell us what would be your favourite football moment?
My favourite football moment, I absolutely loved my first game of A grade. Unfortunately, Dad couldn't be there because my brother we'd both played Senior Colts that day, and my brother had broken his arm and had to be taken to hospital. So Dad had to miss the game. But I was wringing my socks out in the change rooms after the game and got the call up, and I thought, oh, wow, this is incredible. And, hopefully, I was a bit nervous and that kind of stuff. But, yeah, it was just a great day. Came on very early because of some injuries and, got a touch within 10 seconds of being on. And I don't know if that was it for the day, but, it was just a very special day for me. And, I know Dad would have loved to be there. But aside from that, just, coaching kids and seeing kids on their journey, although he's not a Strath lad, seeing Matty Roberts' journey through the ranks and getting drafted, and kids like Isaac Burt that have gone on, and even the boys that have stuck it out and playing some, SANFL footy and NFL Reserves footy over the years. And, it's just been great just to watch them at that next level and know that they have given it a crack.
Yeah, and you've had some sort of influence as well, yeah?
Yeah. I reckon that the boys will have a lot of people in their corner from day dot, a lot of different coaches, a lot of different potentially clubs and that kind of stuff. Whereas, the girls that have gone on may have only had one coach before they get to SANFL or something like that. So you certainly feel really connected to the girls. Whereas the boys, I'm really big on sending a message well done or bad luck and that kind of stuff when things pop up throughout their career. But, I think the girls really reach out to you and say, thank you so much kind of thing, because they're really appreciative and have such a small number of people in their corner. So, it's hit and miss.
All right. So in regards to the AFL, who do you support? Do you have a favourite team?
Yeah, so I do go for the Crows. Since day dot, I think we all grow up, idolising guys like Modger and Bickley and Rashudo and that kind of thing. I do have a soft spot for the Giants. My wife and I, we spent a year living in Canberra, 2015 or 16 or something. So, everything was GWS over there. So, we went to a few games and, I like the way that they play. I just think they've just got, so much talent, but just hasn't been harnessed in the right ways, which is probably...
they probably need to try and throw a net over it and not let anyone out.
Yeah, but, they just draft midfielders every year. You got to take some key position players every now and then, so they don't grow on trees.
So we'll continue with the AFL theme. It's the last question I've got for you. Who is your all-time favourite player and why?
Yep. I really love Andrew McLeod. I just think he is so silky. as an operator. And I also liked Simon Black from Brisbane. He was just, such a unique footballer, great balance, great agility, and strong and tough. I love the Brisbane Lions from that era. They were, pretty special group. But, through the years, you could take a pick. I thought Nick Rewalt, you'd pick him first just about every time, like as an influence and an impactor from centre forward. And as a forward myself for a lot of my career, someone like him that could get up and down the ground and just work opponents into the ground, just great to watch. But I sort of watch footy now and just kind of try and pick up what they're running and that kind of thing. Like, so if I go to the AFL games now, I don't tend to watch the ball or follow the play. I sort of watch how teams set up and that. Like, it's actually kind of weird. And people are like, how good was that? And I'm like trying to look up on the board for a replay because I'm just watching how they set up their zones and how they run their defenses and stuff. So I've got that coaching kind of thing in me. It's the first thing I look at when I go to any football game is what they're trying to run. So,
all right. So I think that's the end of the questions, mate. We'll go on to do our quiz. I hope you've studied hard for this. There's some pretty easy questions, but there's also a couple of tough ones. So I've thrown in a AFLW question as well for you. So the first question, and we'll tally them up at the end, the first question is, what club did Gary Ablett Sr. play for before he went to Geelong?
Oh, jeez. Was it an AFL club? Or was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. North Melbourne.
So question 2, who has kicked the most goals in the women's AFL to date? So that's total goals.
Total goals. Aaron Phillips.
Question 3, which of the following players was selected in the most All-Australian teams? And that was the AFL Team of the Year through to 1990. So multiple choice, Paul Roos, Wayne Carey, Stephen Kernahan, or Robert Harvey? And that is a tough question.
Robert Harvey.
Question 4, who was named fullback of the century?
Stephen Silvani.
And question 5, a colourful character from the 1970s was Phil Carman, who played for Collingwood and a couple of other clubs. Do you know what his nickname was?
Phil Carman. No.
Okay. So what did you get? I reckon you've got Stephen Silvani, so you got the 1 out of 5.
Yeah. Look at that. I'll take that.
Gary Ablett Sr. played for Hawthorn. Darcy Vesio is 1 in front of Aaron Phillips.
Oh, yep. Vesio.
Paul Roos was 9 times in the All-Australian team.
Jeez. Okay.
Stephen Silvani was right. And Phil Carman used to be called Fabulous Phil.
Fabulous Phil. Oh, God. Yep. Back to the drawing board.
I don't know why, because... well, that's what it's about. You either get them all right or you struggle, but you did pretty well. Look, thanks for coming on the program, mate. I know you're on holidays at the moment over in New South Wales sometime. So, look, hopefully you can come on again and we can talk some more footy and maybe some finals footy.
I would love to, mate. I think you're doing great things. I've always said we just need something to pump up and promote great Southern footy, men's and women's, and you're doing it. So hats off.
Cheers, mate. Really appreciate it. And catch up soon. Here are the results for the GSFL FPAG Girls Under 17s and Women's A Grade Grand Finals. So in the FPAG Girls Under 17 Grand Final, Wollonga took on McLaren, and Wollonga were victorious 8-7-55, defeating McLaren 2 points. Best players for Wollonga: Emma Charlton, Bella Rigby, Emily Steele, Abby Woodward, Emma Comley and Ella Wilson. And the goal kickers: Emily Steele 4, Emma Charlton 2, Ella Wilson and Abby Woodward 1 each. Best players for McLaren: Evie Cerullo, Keisha Dello, India Roberts, Alyssa Han, Molly Jenkins, and Lillian Bulge. So in the FPAG Women's A-Grade Grand Final, Wollonga also took on McLaren, and Wollonga also had a win, 10-13-73 to McLaren 1-2-8. Best players for Wollonga: Caitlin Radbone, Tessa Cone, Lauren Clifton, Catrice Turner, Grace Duffy, and Ella Radbone. And the goal kickers: Shay Archbold 3, Courtney Gum 2, Tessa Cone 2, Caitlin Radbone, Tamara Page, and Lauren Buchanan 1 each. Best players for McLaren: Sam Pratt, Katie Wish, Tiffany Copley, Layla Rogers, Katrina Munsberg, and Ruby Flanagan Soberg. And the goal kicker was Jessica Shaw. Here are the results for the GSFL Men's Reserve Grade Round 17, 10 years ago. So my Ponga Sellicks hosted Gould Port Elliot. In a tight game, my Ponga Sellicks were the winners, 5-6-36 to Gould Port Elliot, 5-3-33. Best players for my Ponga Sellicks: J Kudavitis, D Eli, T Humphreys, J Schofield, and R Wheaton. Goal kickers: T Humphreys 2, singles to J Hutchinson, S Haverty, and D Eli. Best players for Gould Port Elliot: B Shaw, T Chester, P Elliott, S McAvaney, and S Bailey. And the goal kickers: V Robertson 2, B Shaw, D Silvestri, and R Bridges 1 each. Strathalbyn hosted Encounter Bay, and Encounter Bay had a win there, 10-9-69 in a close game. Strathalbyn 10-4-64. Best players for Encounter Bay: J Prest, T Bloomfield, M Aston, J Wiedenhofer, T Jenkins, and M Allen. And the goal kickers for Encounter Bay: J Prest 4, M Aston 4, and singles to J Millard and A Rosler. Best players for Strathalbyn: Dspringer, our special guest for this week, M Rogers, C Sandicott, S Barbary, M Saunders, and R Smith. And you see Dspringer kick 5, M Saunders 2, singles each to R Blackwell, R Smith, and C Sandicott. Victor Harbour hosted Langon Creek, and Langon Creek had a good win, 15-16-106, defeating Victor Harbour 7-3-45. Best players for Langon Creek: R Lyon, G McHughes, B McHughes, S Grosvenor, P Bray, and T Follett. Goal kickers: T Follett 5, S Grosvenor 3, D Raymond 2, S Tonkin, B King, A Cleggett, R Verco, and B Nurse. Singles. Best place for Victor Harbour: A Wheatra, B Crowhurst, J Hewitt, K Sumner, T Blair, and N Carl. Goal kickers: J Hewitt 3, C Banks 2, singles each to B Crowhurst and A Witira. Wollonga hosted Mount Compass, and Wollonga had a good win, 18-14, 122, defeating Mount Compass 3-3-21. Best players for Wollonga: M Hoppo, J Pelling, S Dunleavy, D Wright, M Hoppo, and B Hughesnick. Goal kickers: D Anderson 5, E Bull 5, O Pachillo 3, M Hoppo 3, and S Dunleavy 2. Best players for Mount Compass, J Chaplin, J Pittaway, D Fitzpatrick, B Brendan and S McMahon. Goal kickers, S McGee 2 and a single to S McMahon. And in the final game of the round 17 reserves grade 10 years ago, Yankalilla hosted McLaren, and in a tight tussle, McLaren were the winners 11-goal 470, defeating Yankalilla 8-goal 553. Best players for McLaren, S McCade, H Lambert, M Curtis, M Pollard, M Edmonds and J Young. Goal kickers for McLaren, M Edmonds 4, J Williams 3, singles to P James, B Hill, J Vanderveen and T Curtis. Best players for Yankalilla, J Marshall, D Wilson, D Jones, S Wilson, G Rosser and D Miller. And the goal kickers for Yankalilla, C Grace 3, J Marshall 2, singles to G Rosser, P O'Leary and M Dedico. So the premiership ladder for the reserves grade after round 17 10 years ago saw Wollonga on top with 32 points, followed by McLaren in second on 26 points. Third was Langong Creek on 24 points. Fourth was Gould Port Elliot on 21 points. Fifth was Yankalilla on 19 points. Sixth was Mount Compass on 12 points. Seventh, Strathalbyn on 11 points. Eighth was Encounter Bay on 10 points. Ninth was Victor Harbour on 9 points. And 10th was Maiponga Selix on 6 points. And I reckon that final five was pretty well set. It's time for this week's Plug a Local Business. This week's local business is Stork Signs. For all your signage, mobile billboard hire, printing and embroidery needs, contact Stork Signs, 61 Mill Road, Encounter Bay. Open 8:30am to 4pm, Monday to Friday. Phone 8552 3804. Send them a message via their Facebook page or send them an email, stork.signs@yahoo.com.au. It's time for question of the week. So with one round remaining in the GSFL, who do you think will win the association medal in the A grade for 2022? Will it be a player from the undefeated McLaren or maybe somebody from another club who has caught the umpire's eye? Leave a comment on our Facebook page.